The responsibility of creating the new heavens belongs to me and you. You understand this? It's simple. This can now be a time, for once, where you can focus on it more seriously. This is your dream. There is a never-ending ocean of stars. Right now you have your dreams of the future in your heart. Where do you want you be? An advanced city is your dream and your most ideal desires. Your mind is now knowledgeable of the truth, of the real and practical physics of every world, which is the same physics that make man gods. You come to approach your best friend at the new EXI base, the new existential guardian base, and you remember the life you enjoyed with them, the few souls who were your friends, compared to the great number of souls that will be at the EXI base in the first generation, the sea of new souls. The sea of new souls will there be after the end. The relationship you dream to be in new worlds. Desire to remember the most desirable memories, the future lifetimes, your new friends, new worlds you create. Do you believe you will create the new worlds? How many worlds of your own do you believe you will create? The engineering of a new world, truth and reality, that a man can have powers that seem like they are supernature. The marvels and the powers that a man can have, it is real physics. In creating the new world, angels and men with powers, and the reality is that scientists. The realities that worlds will be built by your hand. Do you believe that the worlds will have to be built by your hands? How do you conceive what this act will be like? Claims that the image of man is that same as God, or is like God. God is defined to be just as like a man, just in his godly power. Then God, that beings he created, will be gods. Beings to come, will be even be greater than Christ, is what Christ explained, from his mouth. Who is now God, or just one God, amongst the so many other people. In the new advanced city, of heaven. In new advanced worlds, even children believe that they are gods. You hear of these places all the time. This is Neo-Metropolis, and a new megametropolis, of an all-advanced city. In the imagination of young children, in these advanced worlds, it is like elementary for them to believe. The children are gods. Is there an advanced city, where angels live there, to entertain their dreams? You have learned the physics and science, formed on worlds like Earth. Science developed, in just a few centuries, by people are the same powers that mold and evolve the universe, thus meaning, will this simple hands of man, being only human, form the luxuries of the entire universe? The past races of humanity have formed the physics of the universe, mastered by men and women, who were born on the ground. Is an angel just a man, or even simply just like a man? What do you think an angel is? The work that is involved in creating your new worlds is most practical and down to earth. Creators of the new heavens and guardians of all creation. Do you believe this about all other people? Do you believe this about yourself? Just to imaging briefly, how think this will start?
The breathing your new souls in conceptualization that there was a beginning of the first consciousness. You are a new soul in existence when the curves of your mind's gyrus functions to cause you to realize the effect of self-consciousness, to make you ask the question, what am I? And what is my purpose? And why am I here? Is there something or someone who created me? And when was? And from where was he created? You are a new soul. And you are a guardian on existence. Because of necessary dispensational evolution. This final dispensation, this evolution implicative of what is a begin, declares justice to prevent suffering, makes this law that you as all new souls in conceptualization, will be at birth, an existential guardian. This part of your memories in your transformation before analyzing or entertaining of worlds, this part of your mind will be your choice reformed to a desirable ideal chosen by yourself. So, you will always know that you are a guardian, the co-guardian of all existence. When people would think, and why did God create angels in the first place? So as you and no one else will be created any less. You are called Exi guardian, yet you are a man who is a god or a woman who is an angel. Geomopridium defect and Enigma ruins 2008 of Bio-Automation Planetary Machines Enigma's planet machines of autonomous reactivation of planetary life and Geomopridium defects Geomopridium use defects and some wild country people defective connections in the mind's physiology wild Geomopridium defects and secret rural selection wild Geomopridium secret rural selection corrupt Contra is afraid with trying games thus they couldn't predict Enigma revelations of Lupaway Macanis for gods and the gum ecology that resurrects autonomous life on planets.
Egyptians' intellectual teachings of the ages of philosophy, science and religion. We want to question two reasons. Throughout the history if Egypt has any of their great intellectual achieved accuracy about the science of existential, specifically facts about the afterlife. What events will determine the disposition of the body and soul after the first life?
Analyzing the behavior of the demon population. There is a machine that is defending the civil function by a method of biological evolution, even before the next generation. I have gained evidence, or the factor of evidence of this, is that I am still alive and able in my position, in reflection to the factor of the true eventuality of human nature of people, with a predominant intelligence advancement level theoretical that of generation 5+. Because eventuality logically determines that the function of choices made by an ordinary person of this advancement level are that of an advanced kind, in particular that the element of desire in the mind of a person whom, of this /mind type, would choose a vast array of creative lifestyle. That generally deviates into a more evolved creative humanitarianism, where amusement accompanies association complexity with many other intelligent people. The barbaric actions of the individuals, in this generation 5 circumstance, determines by this logic of factors there is another incentive, of influence causing the actions of the genome to act in general violent barbarianism, in correspondence to their potential of indulgence. The biological evolution of the defense systems is on a basis to be natured as being machine-controlled. There are logical mechanisms in the machine that evolve the biology of the H' in accordance to certain actions and changes that can be registered by the machine in the anatomy of the H' to initial evolution in the biology of his body. Because I have evidence of a defense mechanism is working, I theorize that it is likely true that there is a machine controlling the biological evolution in the function of civil defense. Psychotronic Police Journal. By the M-Org operator, UNHOM. Psychotronic Offenses Registration. I have been diligently reporting the military and FBI of psychotronic projection offense. Even the offense of illegal implants in my body, assaulting my through my neurology.
Greetings, you all humanian species. As you are precedent beings from unknown ages and dispensations. I know you by your intellectual creations. Passing after my beginning. I am. Of my conceptualization thus after my conscious beginning. You had names. You had personalities and made memories with others who were born in your time. Some beings creatures all over this earth. That behave in various ways. Their interaction to suffer one another I have not verified a function of civil existential justice. Today, I have made my personal judgments to you. In the matter of perception and concept assuming, if you and I were physically interacting with each other. By the physics of this atmosphere, in these types of humanoid bodies, in this realm and elements. According your actions in my function of memories. I have given this judgment of my personal preference of future association. First, as I having no power over you. So, where in the astrophysics, there is functions of transmortal civilization. All those souls of people. The authority of us. Whoever is the authority of us is. The God and Yang and his angels. By his power and their powers. We will be judged. We will be dispositioned by their power. I will assume that I have no power to counter the disposition by God and Yang. Assuming his power will disposition over me. All souls. By knowledge of how all the souls will likely judge you in personal preference, meaning all those that of people that passed on. Before my conscious conceptualization in acts of a living lifetime and generation. I will judge you, in personal preference of exile away from you, in accordance to the consummation the consummation of memories of this generation, the events of my lifetime in realm with you. Accordance the consummation of this generation. All the other soul of, other perspective and all relatives, I will bring this to your awareness. This is my mind. This is my physiology. So I know, I don't want to associate with all souls of relative crimes, or tragic mistakes of my sufferings, even the retarded lion. Likely, others in my perspective will also judge the same. Those passed on. To bring to your awareness my dreams of my next generations, to my satisfaction in them I assume, and believe that I will be satisfied. Being that will be exiled, those associated with this crime. I believe that will be, in all dynamic creative manipulation for joys in the physiology of the mind in my future. I believe that will be satisfied. Being that will be exiled, those associated with this crime. According to in the physics of our interaction, in this atmosphere, in these bodies. This my response to you. According to the memories of this generation. For your hourings. I desire you beings exiled. I don't how bad it could be, for you to think, for you force yourself, to be with someone, that you hurt and does not want to be without. Or how long your judgment like could. I can't make this burden my problems. For your awareness okay. Consider alien wars. And the trivia of relation problem. If there were more, this trivia is costly. This would be a good time for you to understand the relation problem, won't end aliens wars. Maybe you believe there will be no more alien wars. But I won't feel good about the future defense of all conceptualizations of souls. To consider this, the conceptualizations of souls, is your responsibility as well. So, in accordance to that ideal, this is your existential realms. You are guardians. So why don't respect the existential civil life, the existential guardianship duty? All are the guardians of existence, all beings are gods. So you responsible, by my effort. According to in the physics of our interaction, in this atmosphere, in these bodies.
An aviation standard realism of Generation 6 and on. The thought on aviation technology for disk in incidents of mass civilizations. Realism explains aircraft logically would never be operated by a living person. With a mass of nations in the disk in incident of civilization. The standard logically is that aircrafts must be robotically operated. The statistics of safety and welfare for a person to personally operate the aircraft calculates to be far too adverse. The operator's safety would be at an excessive disadvantage.
Here presenting is the news of the Michael S. C. Lewis Organization, Society. This will be the very first historical news exhibition of M.Org Society. Made in first-hand literature, by myself, Michael S. C. Lewis. Some unofficial, and also, some legitimate, official, news exhibitions may exist, of M.Org Society. Created by anonymous persons. But this one will be the only one. Acknowledged in control by me myself. Michael S. C. Lewis, in legitimacy, of the now living M.Org Society, in live operation. M.Org Society's first historical news topic. The disorder attack. On Annam provincial residents. During the time of Annam's first grand discovery, of the proper method of operating, the truancy financial civil defense system. A small terrorist group, a part of the Immortal Seven Sisters, Eggsy Space Pirates, have contaminated themselves with a destructive genetic, unregulated, synthetic biotechnology, and have become extremely ill. Annam, Michael S. C. Lewis, and other operators are now burdened with medical relief on this small terrorist group, from the Seven Immortal Sisters. Annam and M.Org Society have taken responsibility, because some of the specialists, from this terrorist group, are actually, designated duty operators, in several of the many zones. Down here, on the urban zone, where Annam provincial residence is. This happened, on Friday and Saturday, in the local urban zone of Annam's provincial residence. Which is the date of, September 10th and 11th. Of the year 2021. This is an iconic historical time, to exhibit. Of all the historical incidents of the 7 immortal sisters, and their war crimes. Because this is the time when, the immortal 7 sisters, have actually, needed to be helped, supported, by Annam himself. Annam, Michael S.C. Lewis, himself whom has been, their long contested, war entity. Annam, has been their direct target entity, of space terrorism and criminal warfare, for more than over, the past decade. This will end our first, news exhibit. Thank you for watching. The news of, M.Org Society.